Hello, Internet, and welcome to the very first episode of Delete Your God Awful Content. I didn't plan on making another IDUBBBZ video as I hoped that the drama would die down. But IDUBBBZ has gotten so much worse since his previous video that I'm just like, you know what? I should just make another video that basically just documents his entire sins throughout this entire drama and basically his long ass history of hypocrisy. Now, there's a lot of reasons to hate on this cockroach. He's cunty, manipulative, malicious, hypocritical, extremely sensitive, a massive crybaby, makes horrible content. Hey, wait a second. That sounds like something IDUBBBZ would criticize Keemstar for. Wouldn't you agree, IDUBBBZ?
He's manipulative, cunty, hypocritical, makes horrible content, extremely unfunny, cringy.
But instead of making fun of a bald, retarded gnome, we are going to be making fun of a bald, retarded police officer. And there are a lot of bald, retarded police officers, and that includes IDUBBBZ. If you want to get the epitome of the most sensitive person on the planet, you will get this man. For example, Donut Operator basically made a parody account on OnlyFans where he basically would joke about sending meat pics, but instead of it being meat in the slang way, it will be actual meat like steak and stuff on OnlyFans.
So he went to a range day with me one time. We used to talk a lot about content creation and stuff. And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
And so, well, basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak. and
See, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have.
Genius.
How did IDUBBBZ treat him after that?
And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and said I was making fun of Anissa, and I wasn't. I just thought it was a funny bit because I was sitting at home during COVID. And
You'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, it was. He
shit
said
like
stuff like that, and yeah, just haven't talked to him since. That was 5 years ago.
Over that?
Yeah, and I've texted him and tried to reconnect with him. He just won't talk to me anymore.
That's right. He ditched his ass because it hurt his wife's feelings and hurt his feelings. And the cope from his response to this is unbearable, dude. What does this even prove? It just proves that you're such an insecure loser, dude. Another example of him being a sensitive little cuck is when Ethan buttoned to confront AB about making the situation more awkward. The audio behind the scenes got leaked. And he's trying to criticize Ethan for being a tyrant of the boss.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it. It was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
Doing it.
What are you doing?
It's so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Just this is what I'm talking about when it's always
We need to get home for our kids.
It's bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just thought about finishing Wednesday.
Friday. You guys,
All right, I'm taking my hand off. What? Okay, well, all that. Thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's every time we do it, it's the show is what it is, and
I know. I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
But the thing is, this is something you see at your typical job all the time. And basically, IDUBBBZ is just being a sensitive little cuck that he's basically just blaming Ethan for stuff you see at a normal job. This guy's not worked at a real job, and it basically just shows.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
What is it that Ethan needs to take accountability for, IDUBBBZ? He doesn't need to take accountability for anything, okay? Another example is in his new video. And this new video is basically just him bitching about trolls, joking about him and his wife, and making jokes about Anissa basically controlling him or whatever. Oh my god, the whore! There's thousands of people making videos about me. Oh, the whore! Even though there's videos about me saying, oh look, a signed piece of paper that says gay nigga. You are giving the trolls what you want, dude. How do you even have the ability to make this god-awful video? You should know this because you've spent time on the internet longer than the amount of time I've spent living on this planet, dude. Ian claims to be someone who's stoic,
I am quiet, stoic, not talkative.
yet he doesn't even know what that word is. Stoic is basically someone who's unbothered by things. Meanwhile, you're literally being bothered by a bunch of retarded ass trolls.
I thought more people would be able to catch on. I am quiet, stoic,
Men
not
aren't supposed to have emotions,
It's the opposite of that.
especially
Loud,
sad
tough,
emotions.
social. People
It should
struggle
only be
to
anger.
understand that dynamic.
Emotions should only be anger with men.
Gay.
If you give no effort, if you got no money, then I got a cheap method. Crack it open, throw it in a pan and let it cook, bitch. Now that's a real education, fuck books.
There are a lot of hypocrites out in this world with different levels of hypocrisy, but I have never seen a man with this many hypocritical views and insane levels of hypocritical nature than IDUBBBZ. For example, Ian made a video called Concern Trolling in June, where he basically dunked on concern trolling. However, look at his content cop and content deputy. Those two videos are literally full of concern trolling to like the fucking maximum, dude.
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. What are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Gay.
Oh, and you know what else? Anissa was doing the same type of concern trolling towards Ethan. Hey, IDUBBBZ, have you seen this example of concern trolling? No, you haven't? Of course you haven't, because of how big of a fucking hypocrite you are.
Gay.
Another example of hypocrisy from IDUBBBZ is regarding edgy humor. Last month it was exposed that Ethan had a Reddit account 15 years ago called PedoJoe, where he would basically be in a trolling context, make pedophilic comments on Reddit. And who was one of these people who criticized Ethan for a very old pedo troll account? Icons. Okay, so making pedo jokes 15 years ago means you need to be criticized for it. Okay. Has anyone else done that? Oh, and another thing. You know who used to make these pedo jokes in the past as well? The guy that Anissa Jomha likes to look up to, Hassan Piker.
I always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut. Don't even try to hide it. I always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut. Don't even try to hide it. Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
My position isn't that all these people should be criticized for these old pedo jokes, but what my position is that if you're going to criticize Ethan for his 15-year-old pedo jokes, then you should criticize all these other people for making pedo jokes, and that includes IDUBBBZ. And also IDUBBBZ, if you yourself are going to criticize Ethan for that pedo troll account, and if any of his fans are going to criticize Ethan, then you should call out IDUBBBZ's affiliation with Shadman and IDUBBBZ retweeting Shadman art that was lolly of Hillary Clinton. And the last reason why I think IDUBBBZ is a hypocrite, at least in some parts, is with his so-called empathy. He claims to be empathetic with harassment of other people, but when Ethan gets real human skulls sent to his house as harassment, he calls it humorous, and Stale Potato Chips tries to play it off as a joke.
One last question. Did you send the skulls? What is your opinion on the skulls, and did you send them?
I didn't send the skulls. I don't know. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that. Gay. Especially when I heard that they were like from skulls.com or some shit like that. That made it funny.
Yeah. Just a death threat to a father, a family.
Yeah, was it a death threat?
I'm just kidding.
That sure lines up with being empathetic. He also says in this podcast, after 2 videos of concern trolling, that Ethan needs to suffer after all this dumb shit he did to Ethan.
I do think there is always, because that's not, I don't think that's very strong to, you know, it's not black and white. Right. And I think, yeah, I think you do need to set boundaries, and I think I think Ethan would have to, as an example, but there's many other people, but Ethan as the example, would have to crash and burn and get hurt in like a very life-changing way. Gay!
That sure lines up with being empathetic. Like, bro is empathetic to himself whenever he gets like, oh Lord, mean comments on his videos, but isn't empathetic to Charlie Kirk when he gets murdered, or Ethan when he gets Child Protective Service called on him.
Where's the empathy bar? And if you go back and
No, this is something that people get confused about. Empathy, you don't direct it at everything, right? You get a little bit lost if you're empathetic about anything and everything, right? Like, there's a lot of people who aren't very empathetic to the Charlie Kirk situation, as an example. But there are reasons why they aren't feeling a certain way, why they aren't feeling empathetic. And that's because there's a lot of hate and a lot of rhetoric that was damaging to people. So you can't force it. You can't force your empathy. If you don't have any empathy to give, there's nothing to give. What are you going to do? You can't always do that. So, yeah.
He's a liar who lies about being the guy who discovered empathy at age 32 when in reality, he doesn't have empathy at all. In that moment when he cried, he was just crying for himself. He's still hateful. He's just changed his political views. That's like the only difference. Hi y'all, future NidsKik over here. I basically want to talk about another example of Ian being a hypocrite, with him saying that this is not what podcasts are and that it should be an emotional dumping ground. But meanwhile, he said the moment he started his podcast Maximum Damage that he wanted it to be an emotional dumping ground. Like, you can't make this shit up, dude.
You're making it so obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Like, everyone brings up like this isn't what podcasting is. No, you got to take a breath and you step away. If you had a traumatic moment with CPS, you don't go on a podcast and immediately talk shit about people. You don't do that.
That's actually a perfectly justified moment to talk shit about people.
I feel like a lot of the things that I've done over the years, including like the apology video that I made, for a lot of people that was like, it's so unexpected and like, what the hell? Like, but like, if you knew me as a person, like, none of that would be like super surprising. I think that's, for me, that's one of the reasons, is it's like, oh, I just need to sometimes dump.
Gay!
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat.
I can't imagine being the guy who went from well-researched video essays to being the most malicious, lying piece of shit on the planet. Recently, Adams responded to claims that his boxing coach made on the H3 podcast. Here, he is lying that Ethan paid $5,000 to his coach and his wife to be on the show.
Loser and his dumb as rocks wife decided to go on the H3 podcast. They already spilled their guts. They were getting paid like $5,000 to go on this podcast.
I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got.
I think they were maybe afraid that they wouldn't.
And here's why it's a lie. Because Ethan paid this $5,000 because Ian's old boxing coach and his wife alleged that they didn't get like a $5,000 bonus that they verbally agreed to. And Ethan, later in the podcast, paid them $5,000 out of spite for IDUBBBZ. Another malicious act from this retarded piece of shit is regarding him taking out of context on why Ethan is attacking people. For example, Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is basically this content creator who platformed BADA, someone who doxes people and harasses other people for no good reason. And Ethan was basically calling him out for promoting BADA, was also the man who originated the CPS call being made against him. Ian totally cuts out the context of BADA and just claims it as Ethan attacking Matt Lieb for no good reason.
He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb.
Matt Lieb is in this, like, middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So, Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men
who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place.
We both have bad in our, YouTube names, and yet we are both good. What do you make of that?
Am I good? I don't know.
I think you're good, and yet we're both good. What do you make of that?
Another example of him being malicious is taking out context of CPS and the Content Cop, where he basically mostly used clips where Ethan was talking about CPS being called to his house. I don't want to go too much in detail in this, so I'll basically just link you to Ethan's response to the Content Cop, and I'll also recommend this video by Cameron. Then in his Content Deputy, he basically justifies it for this reason.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot shittier for Ethan and Neela. And I do mean that literally. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh, and now Ela has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
What can I do to not get it from you?
I'm trying to,
because I'm not trying to get it.
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Talking about the viscosity of his child's shit.
And meanwhile, he is covered in viscous, low viscosity diarrhea.
He mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Crazy diarrheas like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas. And then extremely foul smelling diarrheas.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
People are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream.
So let's review his claims. One, he said that the kids got giardia from dog poop. Okay, how does this kid accidentally getting giardia from dog poop and accidentally eating it one time justify calling CPS on them? Look it up, and it's not. And dog poop is not the only reason you can get giardia. Here are other reasons you can get giardia. Secondly, his kids never even had giardia in the first place.
Now, spoiler alert, it actually turns out when we got all of the poop tests back that he never had giardia even.
So they basically just called CPS on him for getting diarrhea. And lastly, even if his kids had giardia and they accidentally ate like dog shit that one time, that doesn't justify CPS being called on his family. You do one Google search and you can see that giardia is extremely common and less deadly than the flu. What I was just saying is that you deserve to be swatted for kids getting sick. Hi all, Future Nick over here. I basically would like to address this clip that IDUBBBZ said, where he basically says that he doesn't support CPS being called on his family.
CPS getting called on Ethan is not a good thing. I condemn it.
Like, he's basically just trying to rewrite history over here. Like, if you don't support CPS, why did you try to justify it in your Content Deputy? He also doesn't stop being cunty with taking people out of context. He also is cunty when it comes to, like, charity, where he basically took 1/3 of the profit from the boxing event, which is a lot of the profit. You couldn't have like just taken like 5% or like 10%. You have to take like 1/3 of it, which is a lot. And 2, he also never disclosed it. So it kind of is like a scam if you honestly put it together, because if you never disclose it, that you take it 34% and people think all the money's going to charity, then it's kind of a scam, not gonna lie. Stealing money for charity? That sure lines up with being empathetic.
Kill yourself. The fuck? Please kill yourself. The fuck? You should really kill yourselves. The fuck? Please kill yourself. The fuck?
Now, this section is specifically going to be me shitting on IDUBBBZ's husband, Anissa. Not for her being a OF whore or any of that dumb stuff, but for her being a crybully and a manipulative asshole. For example, when people rightfully criticizing her for calling Ethan inbred when talking about like Hassan sometimes calling Israelis inbred and basically saying that Ethan was on drugs because of his tics, she bitched about people harassing her. Like, buddy, nobody's harassing you. We're calling you out for doing stupid shit. And probably like the biggest example of Anissa being a crybully is her more recent crash out. Here she basically exposes DMs with a certain member of the H3 podcast, whom I'm not gonna name because she's on a mental health break. I don't want to push her to try to, hurt herself or anything like that. And what these DMs basically is showing with this H3 podcast crew member is her concern trolling and basically pressuring her to leave the podcast. When she gets called out for trying to bring her into this as a pawn to attack Ethan, she does this whole crybaby bullshit. Like, bitch, you posted it for yourself and he is calling you out to stop it. It's not like he's harassing you or anything. Why are you bitching about him responding when you did stupid shit? Like, you can't even handle criticism. You're such a massive fucking crybully. It's insane. Like, why not respond with something better? Like, oh my god. Like, IDUBBBZ and his husband are just such insufferable pieces of shit. Hey all, future Nick over here. I would like to add, basically that what Anissa is also doing here is basically just manipulating Olivia and basically saying that Ethan is an abusive boss. Like, bro, he's not an abusive boss. What are you talking about? Like, you haven't even worked there. Also, if Olivia thinks that Ethan's an abusive boss, she should just leave. What she's doing right now is taking a mental break because of you fucking dipshit. Hey all, future NidsKik over here. I would like to add another example of Anissa's retarded ass concern trolling. This time being against her former boxing coach and his wife, who was basically a child bride. So for context, Anissa basically starts up by sharing an assault story by Kate and basically making fun of her for it. And basically, in response to people calling her out for it, she's like, and after that, she basically blames her for being assaulted and basically calls her a misogynist. And basically, in her response, she's like, no, I want her to get better. I didn't blame her. That's your lines of being apathetic, Anissa. This fucking concern trolling, like, it's fucking insane, dude. How do you even get to this high levels of fucking concern trolling? I would like to also talk about Anissa basically claiming that it is good to be 500k in debt.
Because I'm the one who is, like, seeing the back end. This part of it really pissed me off with Harley saying, like, we would have really liked to know. Being $500,000 in the hole year 2 is actually amazing. Year 1, we were $1 million in the hole before the event, and that's normal because production, broadcasting, renting the arena, paying fighter purses, all of these things cost money. Second year, we were actually less in the hole because we had I think it was a clothing brand that gave us money forward, so they could be
Moment House or one of these.
Yeah, Moment House gave us. We were actually doing better, but it's very normal when you're putting on live events to be in the hole for all of the money or a lot of the money because you're essentially waiting for the last 24 hours for the pay-per-view sales and everything. All the sales come in 48 to 24 hours, so nobody needed to know that we were in the hole. It's normal business.
Yeah.
The problem isn't that you were at first 500k, then you basically then gained this money and that it was an improvement from CC1. The problem was the fact that you were crashing out to your boxing coach about the fact that you were in 500k in debt. Just some more Anissa hypocrisy.
2 weeks before the fight, I'm like, we need to do your 2-a-days. And I said, my brand is at stake. Well, he went and told Anissa that I told him my brand was at stake. So the next day she comes into the gym super mad and she's like, our brand is at stake. We're $500,000 in the hole right now.
Anissa also doesn't just stop at concern trolling and being manipulative. She also then slanders the former boxing coach and basically calls him a creep for hugging her too hard and not letting her go, even though he was hugging her because she was crying after someone changed her music while she was training.
And so when she got kicked off the Ox and her and I had that conversation where I was like, oh, I probably did go too far because I told her it was 12-year-old emo music. But it was just like, she was trying to diss on Patty's music. And I was like, what the hell are you saying?
That's another coach.
Patty was another coach at the time. So what she was saying didn't make sense. So I was like, and this was just another example of how often her and I would get into it. And I would actually speak my mind, which is why they don't like us, because they don't like when people have different thoughts than they do and don't bow down to their stupid ideology. So she She was mad that I wanted to change that Patty changed the music because I wasn't even the one that did it. Once again, I'm nice. I probably would have let her play that stupid shit. So Patty wanted to change the music, does change the music. She gets upset, starts talking shit about Patty. I stick up for Patty and told her music was 12-year-old emo music. We were supposed to do our pad session because I always would have to do pads with her before Ian. Once again, I remember all facts. These guys are idiots. And so as soon as that happened, I literally turned around because I was like, okay, let's do our pads. I was going to put her gloves on. She runs to the bathroom. And right when I saw her run to the bathroom, I was like, oh, this probably isn't good. She's probably going to be crying. Sure enough, she was crying in the bathroom. She took several minutes to come out. By the time she comes out of the bathroom, she's bawling. She tries to leave to go to the car, and I see her go to the front door, but she realizes she doesn't have the keys to the car. So she has to come back. At this point, she's already crying. She's super sad. Once again, they don't know what the fuck empathy is. I see a woman crying, and I'm going to feel bad. I'm like, oh, shit. I did not mean to make her feel that bad. I thought we were going to just have that conversation, go on to pads, have a normal day. That's why it's so funny. They're like, oh, you're going to cry about it? You crybaby? Bro, you guys are the fucking crybabies. Like, I can move on from shit. They can't. So she's crying about it. I go give her a hug because I'm like, hey, I'm sorry that you're crying. I didn't hug her to the point where she started crying. I felt bad, so I gave her a hug.
She was crying.
And I said, yeah, she was bawling. So I
that's a crazy, malicious lie, the way she told that story.
I also like at how Anissa and IDUBBBZ claim how they're not like bothered at all. Meanwhile, they still are like talking about Ethan to this day, and they probably are still bothered at people making jokes about Anissa having an OF.
I love hentai. It helps me control my rape tendencies.
Now, I would like to quickly end this video off by talking about how retarded Ian and Anissa are. AB was empathizing with IDUBBBZ for the sparring sessions when Ethan and his boxing coach were talking about how Ian was crying in his first sparring session. What does IDUBBBZ say?
You're getting beat up constantly, and then you're supposed to show up to the gym the next day and the next day and the next day. AB can attest to it, right? So it's mentally very hard. So I did feel bad for him because I could tell his heart wasn't.
Like, he didn't even say anything. He was sympathizing with you. Why are you telling him to shut up when he's sympathizing with you, you fucking retard? Like, this nigga got CTE. He should go on the podcast that AB wide receiver owns called CTESPN. In the case of Anissa, she is so retarded that she starts to slander people in the crew and more. She falsely accused AB for shaming her for sex work when he wasn't doing that. He was just saying that you were just doing OnlyFans, saying like the most tame comment I've ever seen. She also falsely accuses Nicholas DiOrio of reviewing rapes, because he has this like meme title thing called Ultimate Rape Review when he doesn't actually review rapes or rape victim stories and makes fun of them. It's just a meme title. He also then basically calls the duo at Kano Casino a bunch of pedophiles, which I haven't even seen any evidence towards. It's basically just slander at this point. I would also like to add that the way IDUBBBZ is like downplaying his relationship with like Ethan is like extremely fucking cunty, dude.
You and Ethan were ever close friends, but how long ago was it when you realized that he wasn't a real friend and it was just about content for him? I mean, that's always been the case. It's always been the case. It's always been the case. It's always been the case.
Imagine doing that to like a long-time friendship with someone.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. I'll be making fucking dough in the pizzeria.
I would like to end this video off by saying like what really is the problem with IDUBBBZ nowadays. The problem with IDUBBBZ isn't the fact that his wife has an OnlyFans or that he doesn't say the N-word anymore. It's the fact that he's literally everything of the people that he content copped in the past. An insecure crybaby, just like Leafy. Someone who likes to manipulate and gaslight people for drama, just like what Keemstar used to do. A liar who likes to over-exaggerate claims and make up more disingenuous bullshit, just like what Tana used to do. And a hypocrite who likes to surround himself with people who keep on telling him that they're doing a good thing, just like what Ricegum was doing. In conclusion, if you're gonna backstab someone, make sure you do it right.